Very good. Om and Namaste. Welcome everyone to Satsang today. And nice to be sitting in this room. I've been here quite a few times, but not to see it like this. So, welcome also to our many friends who are joining us from different parts of the world to be here in real time, to experience Satsang in real time, wherever they are. So, very big welcome for you. And yes, very nice to be here at Sangha Bhavan again, like this. So, good. You had your hand already up, and okay. Mm. Okay.
In the last few hours, it seems to me impossible to go back home. Tomorrow I have a flight.
You have a flight.
A flight.
Okay.
Yeah, and I have to go back. What I realized in those days here, in these days here, in your presence, is that love cannot remain alive among persons, and I understand that that's my point, to go back. It is like when a candle is in a glass and you put your hand and this fire had not more oxygen, it's over. And I mean, I am the first, because in this day a few beautiful beings show his love to me, and it was so simple, so alive. And then I come back to these people with the wish to have more. And with this attitude, I see that the love cannot flow. Yeah.
Because if you go someplace and you go with the sense that you need something, because very often it is like, I am here, I am enriched by the company, by the Sangha and so on. When I leave from here, I'm going to a place which is barren, a place where love is not the climate. Then how can love flourish then? If I go there, I have no one to nourish or to nurture this love. And you take too low a stance now. You go back with this love. You should go and nurture that place. Why it must nurture you? You see, let me finish, because it is just a change and not having sufficient trust that love is not something that your person can give, actually. When the person gives love, it will always run out at some point. Or it has some trade in it. I will love you if you love me back, or if you give me sense of security, then I will stay with you, or this is a kind of trade very often. But the love you're speaking about is not like that. It is not a trade. You've come and you found a love which is, you may call unconditional love. It didn't want something from you. And in experiencing that, you come to discover, but there's a love also in myself, which is not a needy love. And somehow, even in its stillness, it seems to activate and empower and energize, you know, things around it, or that which comes into its orbit like that. No? And you've drank here, and you are about to return home. Then you feel, but there's nothing here to continue this thing. But you can also trust in this and go move in your stillness. You see, you never know what is in front. You never know what is to come. We never know what is to come. Even if you lived in some island by yourself, and you say, now it's time to go back, and there's nobody there. Well, you may not, you don't know. Maybe somebody shows up, you don't know how, you don't really know. And especially when you're empty of your own projections, your eyes will see more clearly to see what you have been missing all this time. Isn't it? Yeah, some people, when they come into this realization of the self, they feel immediately, my life is so much richer, it flows much more smoothly. I'm meeting so much good friends and such beautiful people. I'm having such wonderful, deep experiences and so on. And you imagine it just started, but it was always here. But you miss it. Your eyes were busy somewhere else in trying to find and fulfill the projections of your mind or something. But all this was around you, but you were not aware of it. Now somehow, when you stop pursuing your own projections or ideas, your whole system slows down at a different pace. Your eyes are refreshed into a new kind of seeing, and you discover which has always been here. We are really like fishes, you know, dying of thirst in the ocean, because we don't know. Oh, I'm so thirsty. Where can I find water? If you take this attitude, I'm going to go back and I already know what is there, you're also creating that climate already in yourself. One needs to really be entirely empty of your yesterdays, because the one who is free is always fresh. They are not some historical being necessarily. You move beyond, you know, the force of conditioning. They don't grab you now so easily. Your mind is light and open, you see. And you will always find, even in the most barren place, in the driest place, somehow you will find water. You will find it. If you found the true thing, you found the true thing, you cannot leave it, in fact. It's not something you find in a place like a geographic place. You found something which has no specific location. You found that. Wherever you go, this is here with you. Hmm?
It is true. It takes me energy to not to be pulled in this game of to want to have, embrace something or reject something. It takes me energy. It's not automatically, and it seems to me now more difficult than before.
To do what?
To live.
To leave.
To stay with that. I mean.
No. To stay with what?
To stay with this play. To watch and not to be a pool in this play.
It's difficult to be involved with the play that comes through your mind, you're speaking.
Yeah, genau.
But this is a good thing, no?
Yes, yes. And you say to me that because I'm not sure that I have enough energy to do that in the world, not to be pulled in this game. That's it's my point. And what I understand, you said to me, there is a source or something that give
I
me
tell you,
energy.
forget about yourself. I will tell you, anybody, because this concern too much, how will I do? And this is all the fabricated self. You see, it feels like fact because this is what we are accustomed to. But it is a fictional identity. It's not true. It's always changing. And it's just the moods are coming and going, and each time they come, you're taking them to be something solid and real, but they're just swimming by, floating by. And something has a tendency to hold them, to photograph them, and to looking at the photograph, look and feel that they are permanent. But they're just swimming by. Can I keep trying to pick? We'll just leave them to float by. But if you develop a kind of an attraction for them, to looking into them and comparing and making a story around them, of course you're going to feel like that. There's not anything. And who is doing all these things? It's just the constructed self. We are making it up. The idea we have of who we are is suffering from other ideas it has about itself. You see? The idea we have of who we are is suffering from its own projections. And 2 steps out already. And why don't you stay in this neutrality? There's a neutrality. For everybody, they know it. It's a kind of silence that's always underlying everything, all your feelings and thoughts. You know, they come to rest in that silence, and then they go again out of that silence, so to speak. If you know this, you see, and you begin to just stay being aware of this, then all your troubles, they will go. The troubles are coming because you're following after thoughts, and there's no future in them. And this is why you say you're losing energy, because pursuing thoughts, it is hemorrhaging energy. You're just going out one thing and then it changes in mid-flight and another thought comes and you're experiencing like this. So you have to come out really of that kind of identity. It's the identity that is causing all the trouble. Because it feels always incomplete. It's always looking for a friend. It's always looking for some connection, looking for some relationship. It's looking for some object or some person to link up with because it feels it might derive some benefit from this. So you never learn to be by yourself. And ultimately, we're all alone. You must learn to be alone. Not that, you should be alone. Forget. No. But you should also have the true experience of aloneness, which is not necessarily loneliness. Find the joy and the strength in that. So when the time comes when you need to be alone, you will not suffer. If you're afraid to be alone, then you'll always be going around trying to find someone in a state of desperateness. And nobody wants to see you when you're desperate. It's too heavy load. It's too heavy. They have their own troubles. They don't want to pick you up if you're in trouble as well. And then somehow they feel they have to somehow meet your neediness or something, you see. So that's why I say forget about this one. It's not true. This voice and this person, it is not true. It's always changing and making things up, imagining things which are not there. And don't expect too little from life. Why not go for all of it? We just want to make the next step. Why step? Why not? Why step? Who told you only one step? Only one drop you can have. Only one step you can make. I'm not saying go and get life. Life is not apart from you to get. You are life. Not even living life you're not doing. You are life itself. And at the same time, the perceiving of life is occurring to you. Yeah. You're both the active and the passive one. Don't we know this? I told also when I like this image because I saw it first in India of these two birds in the tree. Two birds are in a tree. One of them on the lower branch is making a nest and making all these things. Another bird is just on the branch above, quietly looking. It's not building anything. It was a very powerful image. I experienced it like that. Because these birds are not two, they are one in varying aspects. You are both the active one, you appear to be the active one doing something, and yet you're also the passive one who simply observe all of this. Do you know these two aspects of yourself or not?
Yes, I know these two aspects. In doing something, sometimes I lose the part.
Yes.
It doesn't do anything.
Because you maybe identify with the doing. Let the doing happen.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't give anything to the action by identifying with it.
And I lose when someone come in my field.
Yes.
That's it's quickly. I'm
You're
not
distracted.
there. Yeah. Yes.
You're distracted because one thing is you give too much importance to your own psychological identity. And so we are threatened by the sense of otherness. This is why we can prove that the ego is not the true. Because as a person, we are very much intimidated by, the sense of other persons. We're always watching how we're doing. Am I coming across well? Did they like me? Did I make any good impression? Will they want to see me again? I did very well, and so on. It's not a true meeting.
Mm.
You see, you're like a beggar. You want something always, so you're not able to just be yourself. You don't have confidence to just be yourself because the ego self is always inadequate. It needs an act. You follow? It needs some kind of play, some kind of I don't know what you would call it, some kind of play. Because without it, you feel inadequate and weak. It's totally untrue thing. As you come to realize your true self, something is just relaxed. You cease being so concerned about the sense of others also. Because your I is integral. It's not a person, it's not ego, it's without ego. And when you are without ego, you're quite comfortable in all environments, you are comfortable. You feel no threat. In fact, when you feel no threat, the natural love in you can flow. You see? But very often this love is lacking because something feels like, you're so busy trying to impress. Your love cannot flow like that, you see? Like to impress someone is greater than feeling love for them, genuinely. Because the ego sense is a very competitive entity. It doesn't really exist, It doesn't really exist. It's the most made-up thing. But we can live in the notion of being this kind of person. But you cannot sustain it because it keeps on changing. There are many pages in that book. It's always changing. Because it gets stale very easy. It's just write a new story, a new chapter has to be written, you see. Where is your true self? Where else could it be apart from right here? Where would your true self be? And if you're not your true self, who are you? A false self?
In this week I was more times in the church in San Martino, and to pray. And the last time on Friday, I was in the church, and there is the Holy Mary, and there is Jesus with the open heart. And I approached these images, and I didn't feel anything more. And I try again. And something at one moment said to me, "You are the church, where all these objects appear."
Somebody told you this?
Something in me, this statement come.
Somebody told you that.
No, and all these objects in the church, they were like unreal or not really, so without life in this object, and
the faith in you gives them life. They are symbols for something which is without form. They are symbols for something which is beyond form. And this very thing is within your own self. Mostly we are talking about the formful, that which is as form and change and so on, and time. Can you speak about the formless? Where is it? And every form is subject to change, subject to time. They are impermanent. Don't you know? It doesn't make them bad. You can use that word, it's okay. They change. They appear and disappear. They come and go. They rise and fall. They live and die. You can put like that. Is everything like this? Can I ask this question? Is everything that we perceive subject to the same destiny? They come and go. They live and die. They're born and they live and they die. They arise and they fall. They appear and they disappear. Is everything like this? Is there anything that's not like this? I don't know for what you come here, but this question is a good one. Do you know anything that has ever come and stayed unchangingly?
There's something in me that it's not getting old.
It doesn't grow old, yes.
I can remember this feeling or this position maybe when I was child.
Yes.
It's always the same, and I refer to that today also, and it's not getting old.
Yes. Are you getting old?
The body, yes, but yeah.
So which one is speaking now? The one that doesn't age or the one that ages?
The one it doesn't have age.
The one who does not age.
No. I'm here.
This is why you're smiling, isn't it? Now you're not speaking through something else. You can speak directly. You see? I am the one who is not aging, not changing, not growing older. No, you got thinking eyes now. See your eyes.
Because I feel that this not time Tyler for me can now manifest because the other side there is can you understand? I mean,
No, you've lost now. You've gone now. You picked up something you didn't have to pick up.
Okay.
You have to know when to stop. You found the thing, and now you want to describe about some other thing, and now you leave it so much. You see? Don't worry about that. If you find that which does not fade, does not grow old, then you can stop everything now. You can stop everything. You have found the celestial gem. Why are you now going to talk about rubies and quartz and stuff like that? You have found a celestial gem. Why you want anything now? And where did it come from?
What?
That which does not age.
It was always here.
Yes, of course, it was always here. It is always here. If it wasn't for that, there's no point you coming here. Because everything you talk about, think about, is subject to change. Everything is going. I said time says, all that you perceive, all that you imagine, you remember, you love, you hold on to, all that belong to me. I eat everything. Time is everything. Only one thing I cannot eat is that from which I came also, from this thing. And that is this ageless one, the timeless one, pure awareness. This I cannot touch. I am nothing there. That reduced me to nothing. Everything else belonged to me. Now if you find the ageless one, then who are you? What happened to you? Can you who believe you are time, can you possess the timeless? For how long can you hold on to the timeless if you are time?
No, it's not the time that is free.
Something should have happened. When you said this in that moment, I am that one. Then I don't want to ask you any more questions. The one which is ageless is also timeless, unfading, undying, imperishable, absolute, unchanging.
Yes.
Eternally happy. And what more you can want? But like a reflex, you go back again to time.
I see that.
Yes, yes. All have taken this sleeping tablet, sleeping pill, called I am this person, I am this body. Then you came into dream time. Now you can dream life after life, you can dream. Stay in the place where this smile is coming from.
Yes.
So quickly the face changed from joy. And then, and I see you went back to time again. You went back to trouble. What I can do, but what's going to happen? This is trouble. This is time. That's all you need to remember. Okay?
Okay.
Good. Okay. Okay. Good, good. You know, when you see this in your heart, you understand this in the core of your being. You know, when I look at you, I don't see time, because there's no time in you anymore. Because we are wearing our concepts, you know. Whatever you believe in, this is what your face is carrying, the message of this belief in you. The best face, the one that has no content anymore, is not living in content. It's just like pure neutrality, emptiness. You may think, oh, but that's a terrible thing. You have to have some technique in life. That is. But the one who is empty, in the moment of need, whatever is appropriate comes spontaneously. And when the need is gone, that also goes into total silence again. You don't have to be walking around with a bag full of tricks. You can enjoy the space of stillness and emptiness and joy. Few know this thing. We're still too much spending time collecting the tools to be happy. But you don't need any tools to be happy. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Good, good. Can I come? Mm-hmm. And,
my heart is full.
full, yeah.
But I'm empty.
Yes, yes, yes.
Well, not even empty.
If it's neither full nor empty, what is left then to say? Because empty is as good as it gets. And full, sometimes fullness and emptiness, they have the same vibration somehow. But you say, not even empty, you know? Then where is there left to find you then? If neither full nor empty. It touches on something so, of such a pure essence. There's no word for that. But maybe I get you wrong, I don't know. I have to check and see. If you are beyond even fullness or emptiness, or let's say the concept of fullness and the concept of emptiness, this somehow, this is a very rare utterance, no, for anybody to say. Then what is there? Who can find you? Because another way of putting it is that I am that which perceive fullness and emptiness even. Huh? How is this? I am that which perceives inside and outside. So where is my location? I perceive fullness and emptiness. Who can I be? So is that what you're saying? Then you have exhausted the words, no? No more concepts are useful for you, really. Meaning that although you will use them, they will lose their power, which is a very rare thing, a very beautiful thing, because you're not saying they're bad or they're good. Somehow you see where they come from. What are concepts if you are not? You see? Then for whom is their meaning if you are not? So you're earlier than all these things. Because a concept does not know you, but you know concept. You see, these simple things were the trigger for profound contemplations. They just look and say, my God, it's like, in one statement, everything is finished. But most people don't want to finish like that. It's too quick. We are up for the ride. We want the ride. You see? But some, like it was enough that seeing, and then what is finished? All miseries are finished. All miseries are finished. You see? They're in a state no one can gauge, no one can comprehend such a state. Where is this state? It is also within us. Us being what? It's better to say it is our true nature than it is within us, like there's two things. There's not really two. It really is what we are. But it seems what we have become through belief and conditioning raises a doubt in our heart of the simplicity of the thing you have just said. I didn't anticipate to go so deep so quick. And yet it has no depth in a phenomenal sense, not deep in that way, but deep as in subtlety, in the subtlety of pure perception. If you say that I am beyond full and beyond empty, it kicks such a beautiful joy to hear something like that. Because it's all space. There's nothing obstructing there, nothing offensive there. Huh? What have you just said? My God. Rare to hear somebody speak that thing. Really rare. To my ears also. To hear someone to say that. Or at least the way that it is heard within me. I think we've just run out of conversation. And is there a but in there? No but, not even a but to kick, nothing at all. It's amazing.
Can I expose something?
Yes, yes.
There is something that loves discovering it anew, that loves forgetting and discovering.
There is something that what?
There's something that that loves the discovery.
Loves discovering.
Discovering the truth.
Loves discovering.
And keeps forgetting and loves discovering.
Also, one woman, she used to come when I was in London, and this was happening. She would come, and she had a most powerful, profound insight. And after this, many people started to sit with her and say that she is their guru, and because she was just all some miracles are happening with her. But then what happened is that um, sometimes at the most powerful insight happen, sometimes equally the strongest resistances come, strong tests come like that. We know these things also when if those of you who have read about the life of Christ or the Buddha or something, no? That right after the baptism of Christ, he was sort of like pulled by this intuitive spiritual urge to go into the desert, to be by himself. Left all his friends, went by himself there. And then this thing had to be acted out to overcome this temptation. It said that the devil, he found the devil in the wilderness. Does the devil live in the wilderness? Where he come from? Yeah. He's sprouted out of our own self to test, to bring up, to raise up this confrontation, to see if you will transcend this. Look at all these kingdoms. He said, look, all these kingdoms, all these you show of the earth, all these belong to me. I will give them to you if only you bow down and worship me, he said. You see? And then Jesus had to say, no, it is written, you should worship the Lord your God alone, and him alone you should serve. He remembered the scriptures, what he was taught, and he had to go there to find his strength. Because something, you cannot be tempted unless you are temptable. Isn't it? Somebody's not going to come and tempt you with something you're not interested in. And then somehow in that moment, if you overcome that temptation, then to that extent, you're free. Then after the temptation, he did a few temptations, went through like this when he was hungry and all this thing. And if you are the son of God, then throw yourself down, because it is written that you will not hit your foot against a stone, all these things. And he had to go through all of this to get any remnants of ego out. All this had to happen before he could begin his ministry, you can say like that. And then after that, you see, it said what? Many people don't remember that. It said that after this, the devil left him for an opportune moment, meaning that I'll be back. I will be back, okay? Whenever I get the chance, I will be back. And then left him, and then it says what? The angels came and nursed him, because he was exhausted, totally exhausted. If you go anywhere in your mind, it will exhaust you. You see. Then what happened is this feeling, you see. This woman now, I tell you, she also, in this moment of awakening, soon after came this very strong tendency. It was a fear of being alone. She doesn't want to be alone. And she doesn't want to be with her girlfriends. And girlfriend, she wants a partner. You see, very strong come. You see, and then somehow she was looking around. Can you imagine? After coming such a high place, you're looking around to try and satisfy this urge to be with someone. Trying to find her prince now. But she's kissing lots of frogs on the way. No prince is coming, like that, because coming from desperateness, you see. And then what happened is, then she would come, and then we would talk like we're talking, and somehow she would come again into our recognition again, and whoa, and it was like, what am I thinking? This is nothing. These things are nothing. What is that to me? And speaking very high, and it happened a few times, and then I got a bit tired of it. I said, what happens is that you love to somehow recognize the truth again. Like some people in a relationship, they have a relationship, and it's not growing, it's not blossoming. So they fall out. We don't want to see you again. Me too. And they go off. Okay? And then somehow they can't, they can't get it back together. But they're missing each other, pretending like they don't each exist, And then they come together again, and then, wow, they love this coming together so much. Then after a while, they go out again, and then they come back, and they love this coming together, but they can't stay together, or something like that. Sometimes this thing happen, this recognition, then you have to go deeply into it once it's recognized inside. After a while, you start to feel, yeah, somehow it's too even now. But the mind is in there. It's too even. And now I need to step things up a little bit. So I need to create some activity sometime, and mind will come again. It happens like this very, very often. So, but you are not this. But something is feeling seduced by this urge to bring a kind of maybe a spiritual excitement or another a feeling of re-recognizing again, and yes, oh yes, oh yes, you see. Then also something slow down again, and you see, and then it feels like you constantly need to top up like this. But then you have to see, but this fluctuation of going up and down is also just a phenomenon. It's not anything true. It's not really true. That which observes this coming and going and this rising and falling, that which is observing that is not rising and falling. There's no movement here. But then the mind says, yes, but but nothing is happening there. And you're still alive. You have to do things and so on. You see. Then you have to still just be present. See. Everything in its own time. I am not the doer of any action. Very subtle things happen. Why are we going through all of these things? Why would anyone want to go through this? This body is a mortal body, a time body. It has a date of birth. It has a duration you call a life, and it calls also come to an end. It's a mortal body. But the immortal is inside it also. And somehow in the play called life, this immortal being gets to be identified with the programming or the conditioning and the identity with the body, and then comes into some kind of hypnotized state of feeling that it's merely a person, which is a kind of psychological construct or something like that. And then have to somehow work in life to try and find its way back to its original nature. The self, the pure self, is never boring, nor is it ever bored. These come from another state that is not to do with your pure self. It does not seek entertainment either, because it is the source of all joy and peace. It is the source of life itself. Isn't it something great to even hear that the source of that life is within you? And that gatherings of this kind is to discover this, not merely to believe in it, but to actually discover and have the direct experience, which amounts to your own truth, not some construction. We were in India, I think it was this time. Was it this time or last time? Last time in India, this year passed. And I met one group called and said, we would like to meet up with you. We have a chance. We are a group who have been in India for some time. We would like to meet with you. And so we arranged a time, and this group came. And then they told me something like they have been traveling in India for something like, I don't remember. Anybody remember how many years? Who was with me? Huh? No, it's not 7. 15 years. They are traveling in India for 15 years. Going from place to place on a spiritual journey. Meeting spiritual masters meeting them. I said, after 15 years, and why you are what you're doing, what you're searching for? Oh, we enjoy to meet these masters and to listen to them tell the story of their awakening. But are you awake because of this? No, we just enjoy to hear about it. And what happened is for 15 years they're traveling non-stop. Sometimes, and it's a big group, sometimes the group, some people have to go home and to earn some more money, and they come back and they join the group and they move around from different places in India. Then they asked me also, what happened to you? How was your awakening? Can you tell us something? I said, I don't feel like this right now. Let's talk a bit more, But at some point it came, and I shared a little bit what happened, like this. And then they were like this. I thought, what is this? And I said, are you okay? They said, yes, we'd love to hear you speak about it. And we try to get into your life and experience it like you. And I said, is that what you want? Because I said to them, I tell you this, but I'm not interested in this story. I'm not interested in my story. I only tell you to show you that, this is how I came to recognize this thing, which is not a story. But you just want to have experience of other people's experience, but it's not the true experience. I thought this is something that is a waste of time. You just want another experience, and then after you get tired of this, you want another experience and another experience. Why don't you try to experience that from where all experiencing come from? But they didn't want. As I said, this is a mortal body, but the immortal is in it. And maybe for lifetimes, this game of learning and growing and understanding and discovery is going on for a very, very long time even. And it may not end this round even. It may go on to need other life forms to continue in this until ultimately it has come home to the full realization of the self again. But in the big picture, it doesn't matter actually. It doesn't matter if you have another 15, 20 more lives to live from the highest standpoint. But yet for some beings, it's unbearable to even think like that. Like, I have had enough. Some people, they admit, I have had enough of experiencing. Okay, a few details will change here and there, but I've been there, we've been there. I want more of this experience. Not especially, you see. Yet, life is experiencing, you see. But to experience or to discover the source of experience and to find that you don't have to go somewhere else for it, it's right where you are. And yet, there is really the fascination for this. We desire much less things than this. Our desires are for most things impermanence. And even the instrument you want to enjoy your desire with, even that also is bound by time. One day also, this will also go. I speak like that. Why I can say this? Because underlying all of this, I have the greatest news, I feel. So I can tell you the nonsense thing. Because underneath this is the greatest news, that your true self is eternal. Now comes whether there is an openness to discover this for yourself or not. Otherwise, everything else, so to speak, is just another season, another round. That's it. You may say, but no, I'm totally fascinated by life and all it. But I say, good luck, it's fine. Why not? I don't want to stop you. Enjoy. At least enjoy. I'd rather be with people who are not interested in spirituality, but are genuinely enjoying their existence, than to be with miserable spiritual people. If you enjoy, enjoy. Consciousness is in everything. Why not? Thank you. Please come.
Mooji. Dear Mooji, this is amazing, all this. I knew you last summer, and because I searched since my 30s, I searched for freedom. I questioned so many times how is the destiny of, how would be the destiny of human being, and the destiny of human being, the destiny, yes,
of human being. Okay.
and of humanity, and last summer I saw in the front of me a wall and a cat beside me, and I met you. I met beauty. I met God, and I met you. And since then, I really stopped everything. My little life, I stopped, and I give myself to this purpose because I didn't know it was possible in this world. I knew that beauty would exist, but I didn't know it was possible to meet beauty and to feel beauty in this life. And this is really amazing. This is this is my life. This is our lives, and I cannot stop to search. Being here 1 month with you, it's really a blessing. I'm deeply grateful. I came for 1 week and I stayed 1 month, and it's because I have to be here, and I am really grateful to God. It's really a deep blessing, and to you, because you are a miracle, a nature miracle or miracle. And it's not easy.
What is not easy?
To find myself. It has been difficult. I've suffered a lot because I've a deep identity, and a strong identity. And when I came to Sahaja, I felt that my heart wasn't open enough. I felt arrogancy, and it was horrible to feel that. And I asked God to open my heart, and I don't know if it is already completely open. Sometimes I feel I am open. Other times I don't feel that.
But what you say now, I'm sure a lot of people can also identify with many things you say. Like, my heart was filled closed. I don't know if it's really open and so on. No. And I see it that this talk and our belief is only what we learn. It is not true. It's only what we learn, what we somehow have been conditioned to believe. You see? Your pure self is right where you are. When you say I, actually it refers to pure consciousness actually. Not the person. The person came after. The person was later cultivated notion based upon conditioning and the belief that my body is what I am. Not so bad. It's okay, but it's not ultimate truth or something like that. You know, it's a functional way in which consciousness can appear to be a person for a while, but at a certain point, it suffers its own projections. It suffers its own ignorance. You can say like that. When I hear people speak like this, and they say, yes, it's not easy for me, and it's really because I've got a very strong identity, and so on, so on, so. How I hear it in myself, and I want to share with you, I say inside something says, it's no big deal. That's a small things. They're small things. These are small things. Why? Because it's not true. They're not true. Then why are they so strong? Because you believe it. That is as simple, because you believe it. Not because it has a strength in itself, just because you believe it. We believe the life you have, you believe into existence. It's all belief. We are perceiving what we are conceiving. Whatever you conceive to be a certain way, you believe that is what it is, like that. And we cannot help it because we are somehow still invested in the notion of being a person, which I see immediately, it is not true. It is just not true. Now, how to get that across to you is a challenge. Because we deeply believe that it is true. But are you telling me this didn't happen to me? I said, well, yes, it happened to you, yes, in your dreaming. In your wakeful dreaming it happened to you. It is happening. Because it is happening because of who you think you are determines what you experience and how the impact it will have on you. But it seems something like this, which is so simple, it is not understood. And so we persist in this personhood state, trying to achieve, like the person who is a relative state of being is trying to attain the absolute, which is impossible, you see. But when you realize that what I'm saying to you is not, you are making so much effort to discover the effortless. We are making so much effort to discover the effortless. And why do we do it? Because you believe you are getting somewhere. You're getting closer and closer, and closer and closer, and closer. But all the time, you are this thing.
But
Yes.
we have to have work to domesticate our mind.
You have to have work to?
To domesticate our minds. Because the mind gives troubles to me.
Yes.
And I have to work on this to get away the mind.
Give trouble to you, and my mind does not give so much trouble to me. Why? It's just I'm lucky, and you are unlucky. Not like that. It's all to do with what you understand to be yourself. Then if you believe, but I'm this person, what else can I be? Then with that comes so many attachments and so on like this.
I don't believe I am this person. I'm fed up, sorry, to be a person and to be impure. I want to be pure because it gives too much work to be impure. I don't want to. I want to be perfect. I want to be like you.
Yeah. Something.
Never past.
Something. Sometimes we have to come to a state where you have had enough of a certain state. Then it gives the impetus, it gives the momentum, it gives the drive, it gives the motivation, it gives the aspiration to come out of that state. Sometimes it's the only way we transform our life. That sometimes it comes to a point, it becomes almost unbearable, a certain state, and then you move into another state. As you're moving into the new state, you can look at the old state and you realize, oh wow, I didn't realize I was living in such a heavy state.
But I realize already,
Yes.
yes. I felt myself sometimes in the space, and I felt the sensation of being a being and not a person. I felt no boundaries. Yesterday I felt that. It was really nice, and I understand what you say, because I've already felt that.
Yeah.
And I am that. I know that I am that.
Which that? You're that what?
I am the being, not the
being.
person. I'm not the person. I want a real life, and I do not want fiction life. After this discovery...
When you know you are the being, you don't even want the real life. You are the real life.
Yes.
It's not that it's something separate from you. If you know you are the beingness, I mean, know it beyond intellectual knowledge, but simply you are that. There's no other choice for you to be. That's, of course, it's obvious for you, but I am that. And then your life is not going to happen later on. It is the synonymous with you. You and that life, they are one. So it's not that, oh, I want now. I know I am the beingness, and I want to live as the... No, if you are the beingness, your life is emerging out of the beingness. No trouble.
There's trouble.
Yes.
Still.
Yes. Then you must find out now this, who exactly is the victim of this trouble. Let's look together, and we can, as many people who are interested somehow to find, you can ride on the same boat with us. You say, okay, but there is trouble. Then I say, identify the one who is experiencing the trouble, who is the victim of this trouble. We know what you mean a bit. There is trouble. Okay, who is the one who is troubled? Can you somehow take a little time, just look. Go to the place where the trouble, where you become convinced there is trouble here, and see if you can identify the victim of this trouble. You do now.
I don't feel, but yesterday I felt that. Yes.
Forget what you say now. You do now. You go there and try more. Go into it. Also, you don't need imagination. Imagination is not true. Actually see. Now this trouble is with me, and I just can't come out. I want to live my true life, and so not the talking of this, because sometimes the talking gives a sense that that's what's going on, and you're still speaking from the mind, from the past. So actually, where is the one who is suffering all of these things you talk? Because you can speak about any number of things, but you are speaking as though this is a fresh moment, and in this fresh moment, you are speaking about this trouble, and I need to come out, I want this life. So I can only take it that you're having this trouble now, because otherwise why would you bother picking it up? Speak from this moment, don't from another moment, not from the past. Speak now. What is true now? Are you suffering now?
No, I'm not. But
Yeah.
I feel tension.
Yes, but I feel tension is not suffering. If you feel tension, even strong tension, it's not suffering.
But it blocks.
Sorry, speaking in a thing.
It blocks.
It blocks what?
Inside.
Yeah, it does not block anything. It doesn't block you, because you cannot be on the other side of the tension, that tension block you. You are already here. So if you say it blocks me, I would say this is just a thought you believe in. It's not blocking. Blocking what? Big tension in the body. What is the meaning? I'll tell you. It means big tension in the body. That's all. But your mind wants to say, but you know, it means that I am not really there yet. But this is the way that your mind interprets. It is not true.
I know it is not true.
Okay. So speak only what is true.
Sorry.
Then speak only what is true then. You say the tension blocks something. And I say, but I don't see it block anything. And block what? Anything significant is blocked? Can it block yourself? Again, don't use imagination. Don't create anything. Simply just look in the coolness of your own seeing and see if any of this is true. What is happening to you?
I don't know.
Yes, you know. What is happening to you? Is anything happening to you?
I'm trying to calm down.
But I would be bold enough to say that even this you don't need to do. You're trying to calm something down, then it means that when this thing is calm, then you will be okay. But that is not a true. That is another belief also. Whether it is calm or not calm, you're still the same. It's just your mind is saying, oh, you better calm yourself down. And if you calm yourself down, then